Hindsight's 2020. I often say some of the worst advice that I ever got back in 2011, 2012, 2013 was don't spend or don't max out your credit card to buy Bitcoin. If I had, I'd be set for life now. Hello, and welcome to Crypto Begin. My name is William, and the reason I started this channel was because I've been talking to a lot of people lately in my life, my friends, my family, about the importance of starting to get into cryptocurrency investing. The reason that this is important is because I'm sure, as most of you are aware, if you follow the news at all or even go to the grocery store, prices are rising. And that is a result of inflation. And inflation is really kind of a simplified form of counterfeiting. So if you're familiar with the term counterfeiting, printing a bunch of money, the reason that it's wrong is because it devalues everyone else's buying power. Because buying power is a ratio of the supply of money to price. So it's important, and we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity right now to be able to protect ourselves from essentially what is government counterfeiting, and to be able to protect our futures and our family from ever-increasing price rises that will be devastating. And again, I mentioned it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and pan over to something that will show why cryptocurrencies and especially Bitcoin are such an incredible investment opportunity right now. So give me 1 second here. All right, now I'm just going to hit refresh. Now, what you see here, this is a full chart of when Bitcoin in 2009, 2010 was first hitting the scene. People knew it was an innovative technology. It's a peer-to-peer, permissionless, distributed ledger. So if you think about what money is, it's an IOU. I hand you $1. You can give that dollar to somebody else later, and they'll hand you something else. And so I hand you $1, you give me goods worth $1. And then you take that dollar and you use it with somebody else. And that replaced the bartering system where if I have goods of one type and you have goods of another, we have to do some sort of a complicated trade arrangement. Well, with money, you can just transfer it back and forth to that one asset and then be able to essentially walk around with an IOU that anybody will trade you goods for. And then they can trade those goods to other people. But the problem, again, as I mentioned before, inflation devalues that buying power, because now you have a third party that's creating a limitless amount of those IOUs and essentially taking people's goods for free, spreading the damage out. It's a little bit complicated, but basically it undermines your buying power. But this is what the price of Bitcoin was when it was first invented, and the network was spreading, and it went along here. And I'll just give you the full tour here. And this is important because people say that Bitcoin is volatile. So see, here we are in 2011, 2012. You can see the price went all the way up to $30. Oops, keep knocking my mic over here. Here we are in 2014. It hit 1100. Went back down. 2015, this is about where I got into it, at about 400. 2016, 17, it went all the way up to 20,000, and then it dropped back down for a few years here, and now we're getting into more recent years. Boom. Hit a high this year of 67,000 and went back down. But again, I'm going to play this one more time for everyone who says that Bitcoin is volatile. Yeah, it's volatile. But remember, I got in around 500 like 6-7 years ago. And, so what, how much more, I'm sorry, did I say, around 375 7 years ago. Yeah, I said that. Okay. And So I've more than 100 times my original investment here. I'm going to do it one more time so people can see. Like, yes, Bitcoin's volatile, but volatile upwards over long periods of time. Now, there are many times when you could invest, like right there at 229 and it went down, or 1134 and it went down, and you could feel like, oh no, I've lost my money. Look, it went all the way from 1134 to 190, right? Oh, and then after a while, after over a year, it went back up again, and then 20,000. That went all the way back down to 3,000, back up to 12, and this is over the course of several years, mind you. Then all the way up to 63,000. So, what is the driving force behind all of these up spikes? Well, people understand. People understand that the money supply is growing, and I'll show you here a chart, another chart of the M2 money supply, and this shows that because government spends money and they don't like to reduce spending, they find it politically difficult to do so, because anytime that somebody takes money away from a group or a program or a state or anything of that nature, there is criticism. And so politicians fear that criticism, and they don't want to get campaigned against, because politics is a knife-edge game. So the easiest solution is just to hide the damage, to increase spending, and to push it off down the road. And that's what our politicians have been doing. And of course, both parties are guilty. I don't want to, jump into the Republicans don't do it and the Democrats do. No, I mean, I've, seen it in my lifetime where you think, oh, well, the Republicans are going to, reduce spending. No, they don't. They don't at all. They didn't during Bush, and they certainly didn't under Trump. And we've passed all of these bailouts and stimulus plans and relief plans. And unfortunately, now you see here in the last 2 years, the supply of money is, I believe, 40% of all circulating dollars have been printed and come into existence in the last 2 years. And that's incredibly scary, because think about what that's going to mean when prices finally catch up, when the ratio of goods and services that are available to the amount of money catches up. It's going to be ruinous. So I'm going to go through now and go through some of the mechanics of how we get into cryptocurrency and what are our first steps, because this is another thing that a lot of people get stuck on. They think, okay, you've convinced me for the need to get into cryptocurrency. You've convinced me on the numbers, but how do I actually do it? Well, you do it. And I don't mean to sound cliche, but sometimes you just have to get over that friction and step into it. So what this website I've just pulled up here is Coinbase, coinbase.com. And it takes a few steps, just like any website that you're going to sign up for and register, go through that process. And then you're going to have to fill out some information, because it is an exchange that operates out of the U.S. You'll have to put your bank account information in there so they can do ACH withdrawals. You'll have to give them a little bit of information. You'll have to give your phone number so that they can do what's called two-factor authentication, which means that anybody that tries to log into your account or move money will not be able to do so with just your password and username alone. Coinbase will send you a message to your cell phone with a code that you will have to then enter before you can move money or make purchases. I think you can set it up where you can do purchases without 2FA, but they can't just log into your account and move funds. So it's an additional security measure. So you will have to give that information. So you see here that I've got a little bit of money here that I've invested, that I've been doing what's called dollar cost averaging. Now, if you saw that chart that I pulled up earlier, you don't know which way in any given year Bitcoin's going to go. Could start the year high and go down, could continue to go down within that year. But during any 3 or 4 year period, you're going to win big. You're going to be up a lot. And that's been the case for the beginning. And I don't mean just like 5-10% gains. You saw those charts. We're talking about 5x, 10x, 100x your initial investment. So What dollar cost averaging is you buy a little bit each, paycheck, whether it be 10, 25, 50, 100, 200. And over time, I've been buying a little bit of each of these different types of cryptocurrencies. And you see here it shows the balance, shows what percentage of allocation it is in my portfolio here. And and it keeps track of all of that. And so it's been going up. So I've slowly put money into these. Now, this is not my entire portfolio. It's just a small snapshot of some of the things that I've bought more recently or haven't moved off to private wallets. So this is a good starting point. So get on to Coinbase and start buying a little bit of crypto. And be patient and have an anticipation that it's going to take a little bit of time, a little while, to see some profits. And the other thing I will say is that Coinbase has fees when you go to buy and sell cryptocurrency. It's a good first place to start. It's an on-ramp, but you're going to pay about 3% to buy. That may seem high, and I think it's high. It's not incredibly high when you look at things in terms of buying and holding over the long term, because like I said, I've made about 100x on my initial investment of my Bitcoin, and I won't say how much that is. Not enough to buy me, hindsight's 2020. I often say some of the worst advice that I ever got back in, 2011, 2012, 2013 was don't spend or, don't max out your credit card to buy Bitcoin. If I had, I'd be set for life now. But you can't go back and regret that. Always look forward and say, well, what can I do going forward? And now I know. Just keep buying a little bit here and there. Don't spend more than you can afford. Obviously, if I had maxed out my credit cards, I'd have a very high monthly payment that would have weighed on me for years and years. It would have paid off, but there's no way to know that for sure. But I have the confidence looking at 10 years of Bitcoin now and cryptocurrency and the fundamentals of inflation and the way that governments spend that we're just at the beginning. They say, 3% of the world's population holds crypto right now, holds Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin replaces the US dollar as the world reserve currency, and I believe it will, then what we're going to see right now in terms of price action, it's nothing. Some people, Bitcoin right now is at about $42,000 for one. And by the estimate, if it replaced all money, we're talking, tens of millions per Bitcoin, maybe even hundreds of millions per Bitcoin. And that's in terms of real buying power, because obviously the buying power of the dollar right now is going down and down and down. So I'll leave it there. I won't speculate further, but yeah, get started. Get on to Coinbase. Buy your first crypto, and then in some of the following videos, I'll be talking about other concepts, including private wallets that you can store cryptocurrencies on, and you really should, because there's a saying, not your keys, not your crypto. This is a wallet that's hosted by Coinbase. It's accessible to you, but theoretically Coinbase could get hacked, and it wouldn't be a security flaw that you did, but it would be a security flaw that the website did. And they have good security. They're one of the number one exchanges in the world. So they have a very vested interest in not getting hacked. That said, on any exchange that you go to, there's no 100%. And you have to be careful. There's nobody you can call in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and say, hey, can you reverse this transaction? It's kind of the Wild West, but, it's like Uncle Ben says, in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility, and you have the power to take back your financial freedom. You have the power to keep yourself, your real wealth, your assets from being robbed by governments. And so the last thing I'll say here is this is Coinbase. And if you have a Coinbase account, there's something else called Coinbase Pro. And I'll click over here. This is Coinbase Pro. Coinbase Pro is a trading site. So this is what you'll do is if you want to do more like day trades or look at price swings and try to capitalize on that. Now there are fees for that back and forth, but on Coinbase Pro it's less user friendly. But I will say the fees go from from 3% down to 0.5%, and that's the on ramp. So once you get kind of good with Coinbase and you know what you're doing, I would suggest going into Coinbase Pro, putting money on from there, and then you go from 3% to on ramp. And on ramp is when you move money from your bank onto a crypto exchange. So you go from 3% to on ramp to 0.5%. So it really saves you a lot of money over time. So don't overpay, is what I'll say. So I'll leave it there. Again, friends, family, viewers, welcome to the channel. I'll be putting out more videos to come, more information. Feel free to leave any questions that you have down in the comment below. This is a new channel. I see a lot of people asking people to subscribe, to like the video. I'm not going to be pushy about it. Do what you want, because I really, I'm here to give information, to be accessible and to help people with the nuts and bolts of really how to get started in crypto. So I hope you like the video. I hope you've been helpful, and I'll leave it there. Have a great day.